What's up, everybody? Mike Walsh here. So today I want to discuss this Supergirl movie, and I'm going to encourage you to just skip it. So bear in mind, I have not seen it. I am making the personal choice to skip it. If you are excited to see it, if you think it looks great, if you love Supergirl comics, if you like the James Gunn Superman film, if you like the depiction of her in the James Gunn Superman film, more power to you. Go see it. If you're invested, I'm not going to try to talk you out of it. But if you, like I, don't think it looks very good, and you're very like, yeah, why are they making this? I don't even really care to see it, but I am a comic book fan, and I like superhero films, and I do kind of want to see how the James Gunn DC universe plays out, even though I'm not optimistic. If you're of that camp, I'm going to encourage you to do what I'm doing, which is just skip the movie. Now, there's a few things here. One, I don't like where James Gunn is taking things. I made a video yesterday about the James Gunn Superman film and why, despite not hating that film, despite it having some things I appreciate, overall I didn't care for it, and overall I strongly dislike how they depicted Superman. Nothing about Supergirl in that film won me over. I'm not looking forward to this like wannabe Guardians of the Galaxy film, and I'm just not interested in this superhero who is just this like burnout chick who doesn't have her life together and is like abrasive and edgy. Like, I'm just not into any of that. And I know that she's going to have a character arc and she's going to become more heroic by the end, blah, blah, blah. But again, you got to get me in the door, guys, and this ain't get me in the door. And I find James Gunn's style and humor pretty tired at this point. And I'm also just annoyed that this is where they're going with this universe because, again, they're trying to kickstart this big whole thing. This is our big reboot of the DC universe. This is they're throwing away the Zack Snyder stuff and they're trying again, and this is the second film that's coming out. At least the second Snyder movie was Batman versus Superman, and that's a very flawed movie. It's got some things I defend, like I defend the Martha scene. I'll probably make a video about that at some point, but very flawed movie, don't get me wrong, but at least that was coming out swinging. Like, I remember when that got announced, and I remember hearing Kevin Smith talk about it when that was announced, and he said something that at the time I strongly agreed with, which is that with one fell swoop with this one movie, Batman vs. Superman, DC has like all but caught up to Marvel up to that point, because Marvel had already had at least the Avengers out. I'm trying to remember what year Batman vs. Superman came out, but I want to say like Age of Ultron had already come out by that point. But Kevin Smith said, like, look, they're catching up, they're way behind. This is only their second movie, and this isn't even the Justice League, but Batman vs. Superman is so big that could, yes, just immediately close that gap. And it didn't play out that way, and that movie kind of sucks in a lot of ways, but I get what he was saying, and again, that is just a much stronger combo of movies as an effort to get a fucking universe started than is the James Gunn Superman followed up by this trashy Supergirl flick. Like, this is weak. Where is Batman? Why can't we get a Green Lantern movie? Why do we have to get this grim TV show? Where, if you want a female character, just do Wonder Woman. Like I would be much more interested, and bam, Superman, bam, Wonder Woman, bam, Batman, bam, Justice League, something like that, I can get behind. I'm not saying they have my faith they would get it correct. Their track record is more poor than anything else up to this point, but how am I supposed to give a shit? And it just stinks of all of the James Gunn tropes. It just stinks of like his hipster appreciation for all the lame D-list characters and the side characters, and his affinity for like sort of schlocky, like Rick and Morty-esque sci-fi and stuff like that. And it's just like, not to diss Rick and Morty if you're a Rick and Morty fan. Actually, I haven't watched a lot of it, but I just mean like that kind of comedy and that sort of just zany out there universe stuff, which I have a palate for, and I like pulp sci-fi, and I really love space opera. I am a massive fan of Flash Gordon and stuff like that, so I'm not averse to things like Guardians of the Galaxy. I like the Guardians of the Galaxy films, but yeah, this is just a fumble to me, and I don't think this is what they should be doing, and I think it makes sense to just not fucking go. Like, I thought about it. I was like, look, I would skip this movie, but I've got this YouTube channel where I talk about this kind of stuff. I should go see it so I can review it. to be blunt, I was just like, no, I'll just make a video about skipping it because this channel isn't even like monetized yet, so I'm still losing money spending like 20 bucks going to the fucking movies to see this movie I don't want to see. And I do kind of support just protesting the stuff you don't want to see. Yeah, I'm not saying we should cancel the movie or something, but I was interested in Disclosure Day, so I went and saw it, and it was good. I was interested in Project Hail Mary, so I went and saw it, and it was good. I was interested in The Bone Temple, so I went and saw it, and it was good. I'm going to go see Spider-Man Brand New Day, because despite having some hesitation about that one, I'm still largely optimistic. I will go see The Odyssey, because I think that's going to be great. I love Christopher Nolan. I'm going to go see Dune 3. I'm going to go see that movie, I forget what it's even called, but the one where the whale swallows the guy. That looks pretty cool. You know, I'll go see Resident Evil when it comes out. Like, I'll see the stuff that looks good, and I'll see the blockbusters that look good, but they're not just getting free money for me when they crank out, like, shit after shit after shit. And yeah, I think this Supergirl movie, which again just appears to suffer from everything wrong about James Gunn, from the tired comedy, the just aping his success from Guardians 1, the like unlikable protagonist, the D-listers, the just sort of the sort of cynical like postmodern attitude towards heroism and stuff like that I'm fed up with, and that fits more in some of Marvel's stuff but doesn't fit in like the fucking Justice League. Like, that's where James Gunn is a weird guy to be helming this. And not to be a James Gunn hater, I actually like a lot of what he's made. I do like the Guardians films, I do like the Suicide Squad movie, I like a lot of Peacemaker, and even though each of these suffer in some way, shape, or form from the stuff I'm whinging about here, but it's more abrasive when A, it's been kind of done to death at this point, and B, yeah, it's being applied to the Justice League, it's being applied to Superman. Like, I say no more. I'd rather, you know, as much as Zack Snyder was a flawed director, or is a flawed director, and as much as his films are flawed, I'd rather have just seen that shit continue than see what I'm seeing so far. Yeah. And I'm open to James Gunn turning it around. I think Clayface looks fantastic. I think that's a bold move. You know, a bold move to make a Clayface film before you make a Batman film. Bold. But I automatically punish strangeness. I would automatically punish, you know, out-of-the-box thinking. In fact, I welcome it. But on the whole, like, yeah, this is not panning out the way it should have panned out. You know, this is just fumble after fumble is kind of what it's overall looking like. So I think that should be punished ahead of time in the form of you not giving them their money, or not giving them your money, rather. You know, this should be punished by withholding your money and going to see something cool like The Odyssey, going to see something cool like that whale movie, you know, going to see Bone Temple. Movies like that should get your money, and shit like this, you know, like they need to take the box office hits to get back on track and to figure out that something's wrong. And thankfully that's happening. Thankfully, you know, it's happened enough that you've got YouTubers, you know, that have this sort of pessimistic doom and gloom, you know, I just act like everything sucks all the time sort of content. And they have long since been speculating that, like, superhero movies are going to go under and the MCU is going to go under and yada, yada, yada. That could happen. I think that's premature. But, you know, it is true, though, that a lot of the MCU films and a lot of the superhero movie films across the board have been underperforming in the last several years. And yes, overall, I think that's good. That is what needs to happen for them to get the message. For them to say, look, this stuff has to be held to a certain standard. Because recently, like in my last semester of school here, I, like, in my downtime, just kind of rewatched, like, every superhero movie, basically. I rewatched, like, the Blade films, the Bryan Singer X-Men films, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, the Dark Knight trilogy. I rewatched the first Michael Keaton Batman film. I rewatched Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. I rewatched most of the MCU films. Just, you know, and I did this over the course of a few months. But it is just striking. It is striking how much better this shit used to be on average. You know? Yeah, and especially if you expand that to other stuff like the Hellboy franchise and whatnot. Like, this stuff, we used to regularly get way better movies than we get now from these big studio comic book teams, you know? So, again, the only way to return to form, the only way to get things back to where they were is to use your dollar to vote. So I would encourage you, yes, I'm sort of preemptively judging a movie I haven't seen. I'll watch it eventually when it's like streaming on HBO or something, but maybe. But that's what I did to other stuff too. That's what I did to Captain America, Brave New World. That's what I did to the Marvels. That's what I did to the Thunderbirds. That's not what I did to Fantastic Four, because that one actually had some stuff that looked promising. And I think Spider-Man again has some stuff that's promising. That looks promising. So I'll go see that. But Supergirl looks like shit. And early reviews I've heard kind of confirm that. So why would I go give them my money? I can buy a video game or something. So again, you could say I'm judging it without seeing it. It reminds me, one of my very good friends, he has a joke where if you mention something he hasn't seen or listened to, he'll say, never seen it, not a fan. I get that. I'm sort of doing that to this movie. But again, if we all pay to go see it, how will they learn? What good does it do for us all to give them our money and to come back saying, man, that fucking sucked, why can't they make good superhero movies again? If we all do that, they won't change. So, I don't want this industry to go under. I don't want movie theaters to go away. I don't want film to become less and less of a medium. And I don't want superhero movies and comic book adaptations to go away. But I want them to not suck. So, here we are. What choice have we got? So that's all I've got on that. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you plan on seeing the movie. Let me know if you have seen it, what you thought about it. Let me know if you're on board with me and you're like, yeah, I'm skipping it out of protest. Let me know if you're as tired of superhero movies. In any case, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Like and subscribe. Channel's really picking up. As of filming this, damn near 100 subscribers. I think it was up to 97 before I started filming this. So very encouraging. The channel's picking up. And as the channel continues to grow, I will only have more and more content for you. Again, I cover all nerd stuff. I cover sci-fi, I cover anime, I cover video games, comic books, etc., etc. If it's cool, and if it's nerdy, and if it's relevant, I got you covered here. And in any case, take care.